overwhelming. You're hoping that Jerry Jeudy has worked his way through that if you're going that route. Again, I don't know how the Broncos go about making their decisions. Like, they clearly can't think this is working right now, but they paid a ton of money to Russell Wilson. Like, it has to work in the future. So can they afford to be trading away a Jerry Jeudy right now? Or do they need to say, hey, we know it's not working at the moment, but we got to keep at it, assume that the coach is the problem, fix the coach this offseason, and we have the right pieces? That's the question that they have to answer there in Denver, is whether or not they could just fix it with the coach, because I don't know that you can be trading away your top receivers when you just paid so much money to a quarterback and you have to have guys for him to throw the football to. So I'm skeptical. I mean, I guess I'm always skeptical about quality receivers becoming available because they're so important, right? Like, in the offseason, I get the argument it's about avoiding paying money. I still don't know why you wouldn't do it, and that's why I'm frustrated when the opportunities have been there to acquire players. The Ravens haven't, but I don't know. I'm interested in Jerry Jeudy. I'm intrigued by Jerry Jeudy. I don't know how you feel like you have a strong answer about whether or not he has corrected the drops issue that, saying it's unfair to say it's plagued him in his career, but it's been a serious issue for Jerry Jeudy when he's been healthy during the course of his career. So I get it. It's not a direct answer. The answer is, am I interested? Yeah, I'm interested. I want to have the conversation, but it's not as much a slam dunk as, say, a DJ Moore, right? Like a DJ Moore, it's slam dunk. Yes, 100%. I'm paying a real cost to get a DJ Moore. Jerry Jeudy, yeah, I mean, he's better than what you got. I'm still doing it, but
the cost is still
right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less to me of you just pay whatever cost in order to try to get a player, right? Like, it's not quite the same feeling that I have when I talk about DJ Moore, who I'd pay anything for. All right, we need to. Our buddy Tim from Glory Days is here, and we are going to just sort of welcome him in. We can't do the take a break and things, so can you figure out if they're ready to start coming in? Thank you, Griffin. I appreciate that. It's always very exciting for me whenever our friends at Glory Days Grill stop by. I do love that. I love that a great deal. Griffin, also, can you check on YouTube? Somebody told me that there might be a YouTube issue right now.
Yeah, we're back up. Streamlabs just crashed for whatever reason.
Apologize.
But we are back up.
If you lost us on YouTube, don't worry. We're back. Everything's good. I promise. Oh, man, I love seeing this guy. This is it might not mean the same to you guys, but it means a lot to me. Whenever our friend Tim Diggs from Glory Days Grill stops by the studio, he has gifts for us. And, oh, man, it's like I get to be a child watching Santa Claus come down my chimney on Christmas Eve. It's like I get to know that Santa Claus is definitively real whenever you come by to see us. Tim Diggs, it's so great to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Seeing you guys.
Tim, if you don't mind, could you slide a little bit closer to that microphone for me? Or we can slide that microphone a little bit closer to you if that's better.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We'll get it fixed. Tim, first of all, thank you for coming by.
Absolutely.
What's going on with Glory Days Grill right now?
So right now, our focus right now is we're.
I gotta keep that microphone right on top of you somehow.
Griffin,
I'm putting you in charge of fixing the microphone, please.
So right now it's football season, and you think about it, the American League championship is going on right now.
Well, now the World Series starts on Friday. Yeah.
You're right. The World Series is starting on Friday. So. And football Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. And what we also are doing right now is $6.99 appetizers, guys.
Wait.
After 9.
Ooh. So you come in maybe after you had a gathering with some friends, stop by. And does that include wings? Does that include?
It includes the boneless wings that we bought for you today to try out,
Big
which is delicious.
Fan.
And some mozzarella sticks for you.
It's so ironic that you say try out. Like you think I haven't had a number of Glory Days boneless wings in my life. During the pandemic, I don't think I told you this, Tim. During the pandemic, my younger son decided that the Honey Old Bay boneless wings from Glory Days were literally going to get him through. He every Saturday was like, "Can we get wings?" And I knew what he wanted.
Right.
And we made it through the pandemic thanks to the Honey Old Bay boneless wings at Glory Days Grill. Like literally the only reason why we survived that tumultuous time in our lives was because of your Honey Old Bay boneless wings. It was a great period in our family's history.
Awesome.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so the wings, the mozzarella sticks.
So we got the wings. We got some mozzarella sticks for you. We got some slam dunk pretzels.
Oh, boy.
We have some cheeseburger sliders for you today.
Oh, boy. Oh, this is going to be problematic.
Some buffalo chicken dip for you.
The buffalo chicken dip. You brought the buffalo chicken
I did.
dip. Oh.
I did.
And all of these are available on the $6.99 after 9 o'clock appetizer menu.
Absolutely.
Everything you brought in.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Well, where do you want to start? What do you want to pull out first? What do we want to?
Some teriyaki boneless wings for you. Teriyaki.
I'm not going to argue with that. I think that might be a good decision. Griffin, we might need some silverware, some napkins. Oh, you know what? Tim probably brought some of those things.
Of course I did for you, my friend.
Let's take a look at the teriyaki boneless wings. I don't want to have them go shooting all over the table. Oh, God, just look at them. Just look at them. Oh, how could I be any happier in my life? All right, go right for this. Now, this is any day after 9 o'clock?
Any day after 9 o'clock.
So even on a Saturday night, everybody's going out. They're having their night out. You come back in, maybe go to the movies, something like that. You come back into Glory Days after 9 o'clock. All of these appetizers $6.99. Well, that seems pretty good to me. All right, I will go ahead and enjoy that one. That'll work. That's good. Here, go ahead, Griffin. You can get in on that. Look at this feast we have in front of us. Look at this. All right, where do we want to go next? Oh, I want to do the buffalo chicken dip next. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Here's your buffalo chicken
dip
right here.
What is this?
This is your barbecue chicken thigh wings.
Wait a second. Are the thigh wings on the $6.99?
They are.
Shut up. Tim, what are you? Look, man, I'm not trying to tell you how to run a business, all right? You know way more about that than I do. I'm not good at that. I'm good at yakety yak, and I'm only barely good at that. The thigh wings are maybe the most perfect thing that's ever been created in the history of time. How is it a smart business practice to be doing that for $6.99? I don't think that makes sense. No offense.
It is absolutely delicious, though.
Oh, well, you think I don't know that? You think I don't know that? All right. Oh my God, what are those?
These are the smoky thigh wings.
Smoky thigh wings.
Both of them.
Tim, I assure you, I've tried them. I promise you, your boy Glenn Clark has tried them. All right, Griffin, what do you want to get after? What do you want?
I guess those teriyaki wings.
All right, you can go to the teriyaki wings next. I can't possibly eat all this, but I'm going to try. So hang on a second. Is there still a seasonal menu available right now at Glory Days Grill?
We still have the Oktoberfest menu going on right now.
Okay, how long does that run through?
That runs about another month.
All right, so you got time.
Yes.
I wouldn't waste time.
Yes.
But you got time to try the look at the barbecue thigh wings. Look at that. Look at the sauce on the barbecue thigh wings right there. Look at that. That looks like, I don't know if they want me to say that. That looks like sex to me. No offense.
The teriyaki wings are in front of me. Oh my gosh, they smell unbelievable.
Yeah, go ahead. Get right after that. Get after the teriyaki wings if you don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy it. Tim, do you mind regaling people while I just eat? Can you do the show for me?
Absolutely.
Can you just what are your thoughts? What do you make of the Ravens of play?
So, let's talk about the Ravens.
Yes.
I mean, talk about Sunday. When you come into Glory Days on a Sunday for football, it is so exciting. Really, really exciting. People are jumping up. People are having fun. Great family atmosphere.
Always important to remind everybody that you can get the sound at your table right there. Like a lot of times you hang out somewhere to watch a game and you're like, hey, I can't hear it. I would like to be able to hear it. Can you guys turn it up? Well, you go to Glory Days Grill. You've got your own personal speaker right there at your table.
And you also can use your phone now with the new auto fetch.
Yeah, you told me about this last time.
Yes. You just download it.
I'm talking with wing in my mouth right now. I'm sorry. You guys are going to have to understand that. You download this app.
Correct.
And you'll be able to point to whatever TV. So
Correct.
even if for whatever reason you're a psychopath and you root for a team that's not the Ravens, that's fine. Like, we disrespect the concept. But, we want your business at Glory Days Grill as well. So whatever game is on, you can just point to that. You can go to the app, say, I want TV number 14.
Correct. And listen to it at your table.
Seems like a pretty good deal to me. It seems like a pretty good deal to me, especially on a college football Saturday, because I know you have a lot of different fan bases that come in and hang out during college football Saturdays, and there's so many games on. There's 100 games on all the TVs. So you could be like a Middle Tennessee fan, and you'd probably be able to get the TV that you want, get a table near that TV, and then you'd be able to pull your phone out and listen to it. Even if you had, for example, perhaps you have fans of different teams sitting at the same table, and you can't agree on which one's going on the speaker, you're both going to have the option to have the sound
Absolutely.
It's a pretty good deal, man. That is a pretty good deal.
Yes.
All right. I see you've got the happy hour menu in front of you.
We do. Happy hour, guys. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. $2.59 12-ounce drafts and $3.49 paints. Think about this. And then we also have daily specials, 3 to 9.
I don't care. I'm just going to lick my fingers.
Signature.
I'm just going to do it. Like, I know I should use a napkin, but
why?
This is the barbecue sauce from the Smoky Thigh Wings. I'm just going to do this. I'm sorry. It's what it is. Y'all can judge away. If y'all think it's gross, You clearly haven't been to Glory Days Grill. There's a good reason for me to be licking my fingers at this point. Sorry, Tim.
Oh, you're fine. Absolutely deliciousness.
Oh, my God. All right. I'll use a napkin now. I'm sorry. I think I made my point. All right. Go ahead. You were talking about happy hour.
So on Monday, you think about it. You know, we have signature cocktails for $5. On Tuesdays, 24/7 margarita comes in a huge margarita glass with Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
Man,
and think about that. And then on Wednesday, we have half-price bottles of wines. And then on Thursday, $5 crushes. So we have specials all the time.
I mean,
especially right now with inflation, great to come to Glory Days.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I get it. We're all complaining about inflation. But to the point that you're making, hey, look, we can't always slash the prices on everything at all times because, you know, it's still a business. You still have to make a profit. But trying to work with everybody and saying, hey, if you come in, again, after 9 o'clock, we're working with you. If you come in on, I'm sorry, say which one was Thursday again?
Thursday, $5 crushes.
Yeah, you come in on Thursday, and we all know how much we love crushes in this community. It's basically, it's part of our blood. I think when kids are born here, they're like 20% Orange Crush in their blood. That's not a good joke to make. I guess we don't want kids. I'm going to make that abundantly clear. Kids cannot enjoy. You have to be 21. All right, maybe I should have thought that one through before I workshopped it a little bit before I threw it out there. But you know what I meant, Tim. You understand what I was trying to say.
I do.
I'm getting all flush. I'm enjoying the food in front of me so much. But you just got to work around it a little bit. You have to understand that there are the opportunities for you to take advantage of great prices at Glory Days Grill anytime you come in during the course of the week. Anything else that we should know about what's going on? I need a commercial break so I can just pound some more food.
No, everything else is great. I mean, just come out and have fun with us.
I'm gonna do. By the way, I don't mean this. This is a personal recommendation. If you have not done the Smoky Thigh Wings at Glory Days Grill, if you have not ventured into that territory, I don't know, first of all, what it is that you're doing with your life. I have a lot of questions about your existence and what it is that you offer to humanity. But I'm telling you, walk there. I have never recommended anything more highly. Now, you want to really mix things up? Order the Smoky Thigh Wings with the Korean No. 2 sauce. Game changer. Game changer. Now, the remoulade that comes with the Smoky Thigh Wings, again, this is a straight shoot. Back when Kyle Ottenheimer was here, one time we brought it in, I'm pretty sure I witnessed him licking the cup afterwards. That's how good this is, all right? I mean, I think he would admit to that. Like, he'd say, yeah, dude, I was proud to have done that. But the Korean No. 2 sauce, even better. I'm going to have one Smoky Thigh Wing, and I'll pass the food around to everybody else. Tim, as always, the website is glorydaysgrill.com, and you can put your order in right there on the website.
Yes, sir.
And pick it up very conveniently to go. Of course, I'm a regular visitor. I know our buddy Jeremy Kahn has been hammering the to-go orders at his down. I think was he Glen Burnie? Where is he? He's somewhere in Anne Arundel County. Whatever the Glory Days Grill is his. He's been going basically every day for the last couple of months. He said so. You know how I feel about you. This is like, to me, when you come by, it's like how people feel when they meet their favorite athletes. Like everybody else is like, dude, I met Ray Lewis the other day, and I'm like, yeah, well, I got to hang out with Tim Diggs from Glory Days Grill. That's so much better. I had Smoky Thigh Wings, jerk. You You live your life. Do whatever you want to do. Truly appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for coming
Always
and hanging out
pleasure.
with us once again.
Absolutely.
And I will look forward to, you and I will be talking because we will get a date figured out for our coat drive this year.
Okay.
To come over and hang out with you, as you've always been so good to us.
Absolutely.
And making sure that we can do that. I know how much it means to be an important partner in the community.
It is.
Tim Diggs, thank you, my friend.
All right, thank you, guys.
Tim Diggs from Glory Days Grill. We'll come back in and we will get you ready for Waiver Wire Wednesday. Our buddy Joe Serpico from PressBox joins us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Have you been to Guilford Hall Brewery? Located in Baltimore's Station North neighborhood, Guilford Hall Brewery breaks the craft brew mold with their great handcrafted microbrews and amazing Bavarian-style food selections. Join Guilford Hall 7 days a week for Orioles, Ravens, and all of your favorite college games. Make plans now to watch the big games, play trivia, or bring your dog for Yappy Hour. They even have free valet service on Friday and Saturday nights. Go to guilfordhall.com for a complete schedule of events, beer listings, and food and drink specials. We'll see you at Guilford Hall Brewery.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with PressBox and Great H Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, November 1st at the Hamilton Sports Bar and Grill, 5506 Hartford Road. It's brought to you by Maryland Vascular Specialists and the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill.
Sports betting has come to Maryland, and we're ready to help you win some money. Tune in for Simply the Bets every Tuesday morning at 11:40. FanDuel Sportsbook GM Leon Twyman and VSiN's Aaron Oster join the guys every week to give you all of the info you need and offer you a few winners. And every other Thursday at 11:40, tune in for Weekend at Bookies as Andrew Stecca and Alloy Sports' Brad Kronthal help make you some money for the weekend. So come win some money with us on Simply the Bets every Tuesday and Weekend at Bookies every other Thursday. Brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Listen at PressBoxOnline.com/radio. Watch at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Glory Days Grill's Oktoberfest menu is now running. It's one of their most popular seasonal menus all year. It features the chicken schnitzel, the Oktoberfest brewer's platter, the brewer's sausage sandwich, the Bavarian burger with a pretzel bun, the cheddar ale soup, the slam dunk pretzels, and the apple cobbler. All of these meals pair well with Oktoberfest beers and Angry Orchard on draft. Dine in or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and pick up your favorites to take home. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
Check out Jeremy Kahn's daily picks at PressBoxOnline.com as he tries to find you daily winners. And speaking of winners, here's a man who once won a media curling contest. And I don't think anything else. He's Glenn Clark.
I got the sweats. Oh, boy, God, it's so much. Oh, I love Glory Days Grill. Again, glorydaysgrill.com is the website. I'm just kind of thigh wing. My bloodstream is more thigh wing than anything else at this point. Oh, God bless them. $6.99 appetizers every night after 9 o'clock. glorydaysgrill.com, and the Oktoberfest menu still available through about another month. All right. Let's dive in. Would you rather Wednesday? Waiver Wire Wednesday. Well, that Would You Rather Wednesday will be coming up tomorrow, but Waiver Wire Wednesday, of course, is coming up tomorrow. And who should you be targeting? Every week, our PressBox fantasy football analyst Joe Serpico joins us here on GCR to preview that. He's with us right now. Joe, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm wondering when I'm getting the invite to that feast you guys are
Come by
having
right now, Joe. Stop by at the moment, right now. Come by, enjoy some food. What are you doing? You working? Come on. You're always welcome here. You tell me when you want to come by. We'll make it happen. Hey,
all right, we'll have to make that happen one time.
No doubt about it. All right, let's talk about a couple things. One, I'm going to guess that in the rest of the country, Gus Edwards is the name that everybody's discussing this week. However, I'm going to find it very unlikely that in leagues that involve Ravens fans, there are still leagues where Gus Edwards might be available.
Yeah, I 100% agree there. Anytime you're in a league with your hometown teams, they get a little bit more biased. They're on everybody's roster. Even certain guys like you don't typically see, like in our leagues around here, guys like Likely were probably drafted.
Yeah.
Duvernay probably maybe even got drafted, things of that nature. So, yeah, you're most likely out on the Gus Edwards train. Now, I did say if there's anybody nationally that's paying attention, that I think that is the number one waiver wire pickup of this week. Just because it looks like that is going to be his job moving forward. Slight concern because of the turnaround this week that maybe he just won't get the same number of carries this week. But moving forward, it's definitely his job. The few runs he had, he looked explosive for a guy that basically just came, just kind of got activated earlier last week. So yeah, if he's there for some strange reason and you live in Baltimore, absolutely grab him. Throw a good chunk of fab at him to get him on your team. But like we just talked about, if Baltimore leagues, I'm going to doubt that he's available.
And as we know, he's of course the prototypical touchdown getting back, right? Like he's the guy that you want to have in those situations. So that makes him even more valuable. And yeah, luckily on Saturday he was still available in one of my 3 leagues, which was kind of wild. So that worked out pretty well for me. Let's talk about Carolina, where we had talked about Donta Foreman, obviously with the McCaffrey trade that made that come into fruition, and those people that did take a flyer on him, like you suggested a week ago, probably feel pretty good. Now, he gets banged up on Sunday, and we see a good bit of Chuba Hubbard, and he does look good. What do you think that looks like? Should Hubbard be a guy that you're grabbing this week?
Hubbard actually got a little banged up this week as well, so it's definitely a situation to monitor. I did think it was a little bit interesting that they announced that Hubbard was going to be the starter heading into the game. That kind of threw me off a little bit. But if you watched, well, not to say that I really watched it, but if you saw the plays, it looked like Foreman was the more explosive of the two. Heading into the game, Foreman was the one that was getting more touches than Hubbard. I believe Hubbard only had like 5-6 touches heading into last week. We knew that was going to change. Definitely a situation to keep an eye on. I do think that both guys are going to get a ton of looks moving forward. Foreman, in my eyes, I mean, you can just kind of tell by the size of him. He's the bigger back, so you would think he's going to get the majority of the goal line carries.
So it sounds like you're not using a waiver claim on Hubbard.
No, not necessarily, just because, again, I still think the Foreman is the top dog when it comes to what we're looking for. You kind of just alluded to it with Edwards there. Touchdowns are king in the fantasy football world, and I think that's going to be the guy that's going to get the most of the goal line carries. So, no, he's somebody I'm picking up on, let's say, Thursday for free if possible. I mean, if you're absolutely desperate, that's a whole different story. But if Foreman is somehow still available, he's somebody I'm definitely targeting this week again.
What do we make of the Jets situation? Is it just the James Robinson show? Does Michael Carter have any value at all? I'm guessing – the people that were racing when Breece Hall got hurt to pick up Michael Carter, maybe they backed up on those waiver claims or tried to cancel them after they saw the James Robinson trade go through.
Yeah, when I put out my waiver wire piece yesterday, I did say that I thought it was going to be a good thing for Michael Carter moving forward because he was still involved in the action. He was still seeing about 45% of the snaps each week. Now, that being said, Hall had looked like he was just going to run away with that job moving forward, and then Carter was going to be a piece out of the backfield. And then this trade to James Robinson pretty much changed everything. Now, Robinson doesn't offer a whole lot as a receiver. We kind of seen that in Jacksonville, and that's kind of been why he's been phased out, and Travis Etienne has pretty much taken over that job full time. The only thing that slightly concerns me about James Robinson is it did sound like he got banged up this past weekend. That's why I was a little surprised about the trade happening right after the fact. But at least for this week, just because, it takes a little bit of time. We saw just this past week with Christian McCaffrey, he got traded on Monday. We only had a handful of plays for him come Sunday. So I do think Michael Carter is somebody to target if you're looking for a later play in, let's say, daily fantasy. But for the long term, I think this is just going to be one of those situations where it's a committee where Carter's in on third downs and he'll get, a couple snaps here and there on the early downs. But I wouldn't trust any of these guys moving forward until we kind of see how things play out this week. Because, like I said, I think it's going to be a split for the rest of the season.
So, again, not maybe worth using a waiver wire spot on a Michael Carter. So I get that. All right, we're talking with Joe Serpico, PressBox fantasy football analyst. Joe, two guys who had big games this past week, but the circumstances were interesting, and I want to discuss both of them. The first being Mecole Hardman, right, who has this massive game for Kansas City, but does so with a very small number of targets. Do we read a lot into that? Do we say, hey, Mecole Hardman is going to become a bigger and bigger factor with the Chiefs' offense, and they do so much that having any piece of the Chiefs' offense makes sense? He's a guy worth picking up, or do you read more into, that it was a wild day, but I think the targets are more significant. It ain't worth using a claim on a guy like that.
I don't think he's somebody that you use a claim on just because, two of those plays were gadget plays, him on the end around, things of that nature. They do like to get the ball in his hands, that's for sure. He's got blazing speed. We all know that. So he's a guy that can definitely be a game changer. He almost reminds me of now current Raven Deshaun Jackson back when he was in his fantasy good days. Just pop one off here and there, and then he would have a couple other targets to kind of round out the day. But he's not somebody that I'm rushing to go get just because, we're seeing it now from the Chiefs. I think they put up close to like 460 yards this past week, and it was Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Juju that got the majority of the targets in the pass game. And I think that's going to be the case moving forward. And obviously still have Travis Kelce there. That rotation of running backs has got to be frustrating just because, going into the day on Sunday, the news was that Isaiah Pacheco was going to take over.
Yeah.
And then he got less touches than Jerick McKinnon. So that whole backfield situation there, I'm trying to avoid at all costs. But as far as the receivers go, no, I'm not going after Hardman unless you get him again on Thursday. Spot start, and they're on a bye this week anyway, so you can't start him anyways this week. But yeah, he's not a guy I'm trying to get after too hard. Now, if let's say MVS or even Juju's available, that's a whole different story. I would definitely try to get them on your team just because between those two and Kelce, they are without a doubt the top targets in the pass game.
The other one was Daniel Jones, who, as you know, I've been in quarterback hell in a few leagues this year because I took those bums Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, who stink at football, and I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So I've tried to get through with Jared Goff, and then I was hoping to catch lightning in a bottle with Bailey Zappi, and Lord knows what they might do moving forward in New England now after what we saw last night. Daniel Jones had a huge game, but that came with 100 yards rushing, and I don't know that we can count on Daniel Jones turning into Lamar Jackson and regularly rushing for a boatload of yards. What do we look at with Daniel Jones? Is he someone that can solve my quarterback conundrum?
I don't know if he solves your quarterback conundrum, but he's definitely a guy that you probably want to put on your bench just because, again, we're in bye weeks. I do think it's kind of strange how we have 2 teams on a bye this week. Next week we have 6 teams on a bye. I don't know who does the scheduling at the NFL, but that just seems a little weird to me. So he might be a guy that you're going to play, let's say, next week if you have one of their guys on a bye. The 2 that you mentioned, I have said in recent weeks that it's almost time to put those guys on waivers just because of what we have seen. Russell's battling an injury, and then God knows what's going on with Aaron Rodgers right now. That whole offense just stinks. But with Daniel Jones, yeah, he's a guy that when you're getting points from him, it's because of what he did last week, and I think that was the case a lot of times last year as well. He's not going to be a guy that, let's say, passes for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, which you're getting from the elite guys. But every now and then you're going to get a game like that where he goes for, let's say, 75 to 100 yards rushing, and pass yards don't get the same amount of points as rushing yards. Depending on your league settings, rushing touchdowns get you more than passing touchdowns. And then the way they're kind of doing it now with Saquon, it looks like with that RPO is going and the way he is able to move in and out of the pocket, that he will get you some points. But then you also know on the flip side, he's very turnover prone, especially when it comes to the fumbles. He's not the most accurate passer in the world. So, yeah, he's a spot start guy for me. I'm willing to throw a couple dollars at him if you're, in that situation, like I said, next week where you got 6 quarterbacks that are on a bye. But is he your answer moving forward? I'm a little bit weary to say that.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And I'm still going to be lost hoping for help that probably isn't going to come. And I'm just going to have to try to survive having nothing, or Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback for the rest of the season, which stinks. Go ahead, Griffin.
So what if you are like me and you have Travis Kelce on bye this week? What am I supposed to do at tight end?
The guy that I've been targeting, I've wrote about him in recent weeks, and I still don't understand how he's rostered in less than 50% of leagues between ESPN and Yahoo. It's Evan Ingram for the Jaguars. I'm pretty sure I talked about him last week. I probably talked about him the week before, too. He's getting peppered with targets. One thing that we have always known about Doug Peterson offenses is he likes to get the tight end involved. Evan Ingram has always had the skills. He does have issues with drops every now and then, and he can get injured. So he's a guy I would definitely consider. And kind of a dark horse is getting a little bit more run now is Greg Dulcich. I think I pronounced his name correctly. For the Broncos, he was a guy that I kind of spot started in daily this week because he was super, super cheap. He's basically taken over as the lead tight end for the Broncos now, and as long as Brett Rippon is in there, it looks like he's going to kind of check it down a little bit more than, let's say, Russell Wilson, even though Russell Wilson, as I just talked about, kind of stinks this year as well. And it's just kind of, on the same road there. Albert O has basically been way out of the picture for pretty much most of the season, and he was one of my fantasy sleepers heading into this year. So, yeah, those are two guys to kind of keep an eye on if they're available for you to go grab. Ingram definitely being the better of the two if he's available.
I used Dulcich in the league where he saved in my Darren Waller league. He saved my ass this weekend. So I was scrambling on Sunday morning, and that's what I was able to find, and it worked out quite well for me. I mean, not that it was monster day, but in a year where tight end has been just abysmal, it was a savior for me. Joe, anybody we haven't mentioned that we need to make sure we're keeping on our radar for waiver wire or for picking up later on the week?
So the other person I had in my article was Paris Campbell. I talked about him last week.
Yeah.
He is now, in the past 2 weeks, he's got, I believe it's 23 targets, which is the fourth most in the NFL the past 2 weeks. Now, things changed a little bit just because of the quarterback change in Indianapolis. Matt Ryan, I don't know what they're going to do with that whole situation with the contract. It looks like they're putting him on the shelf for Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger does give them a little bit more in the pocket in the sense of his athleticism. I think that helps out Jonathan Taylor a little bit. They'll be able to get more creative with certain things, but I don't think it shifts a whole lot what they're going to do in the pass game. So if Paris Campbell is available, try to grab him, let's say, for $2, $3. See if he still continues to get that massive target share, just because teams are putting their number ones on Michael Pittman, and Campbell has been the beneficiary of that. So if he's out there, scoop him up. Don't necessarily start him this week just because I kind of want to see how things play out with Ehlinger. But, yeah, he's the guy that I'm trying to, in deeper leagues, I'm trying to pick him up just because you can't ignore when somebody's getting 23 targets in 2 games.
That's fair. That's completely fair, and I have no idea what to make of Sam Ehlinger. What a weird scenario that is. We haven't even talked about it yet today. All right, at Joe Serp on Twitter is how you follow him. Everyday content, PressBoxOnline.com, where he is the clicks king these days. Joe Serpico, appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us, as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Joe Serpico joining us here on GCR, getting us ready for Waiver Wire Wednesday. I really don't know what to do about quarterback, man. It's quite frustrating for me. I was so hoping that Bailey Zappi was like my seriously grabbing lightning in a bottle. Grabbed him in every league. And I have no idea if he'll play. I have no clue. Because, he looked good for 2 drives, and then all fell apart.
I would feel better about Daniel Jones than Rodgers, I think, if I were you moving forward.
I guess I don't really. Again,
I think he's got the safer floor, with the rushing yards that he tends to.
But he's not going to have 100 rushing yards.
Yeah, but he'll have if he has 50 or 60, which I think he typically has, doesn't he?
I don't know. Believe it or not, I haven't monitored every week of Daniel Jones rushing yards all season. I just know he hasn't been averaging 100, and so when that popped up, I said, well, that's definitely noteworthy, but I'm not sure whether or not that's something that I can bank on for the rest of the year. I also don't know if I really want to use a waiver claim on Daniel Jones, and there's got to be somebody else who's quarterback desperate this week. He's had 3 games of 50 yards.
3 games of 60 yards. He's at
68
yards.
Thank you.
At least in those 3, actually.
Right, and in the other 4, he
had 37, and then
yeah. There's no consistency at all with Daniel Jones running the ball this season.
Well, I mean,
Is Jameis Winston back this week?
I think that's the expectation.
word. It was that they thought he could be back this week.
That could be a potential pickup.
That's
over Daniel Jones.
For a week until he stinks again or until he gets hurt again. I mean, like, Jameis Winston is not the answer.
I mean, I had Andy Dalton on my bench with damn near 40 points this week. So
It's bad. I can't believe I wasn't the guy that went out and got Geno Smith. I can't believe that the answer all along was Geno Smith. I was the one who failed to figure that out. That's on me. Nothing we can do about it now. Hey, you don't want to be the one that doesn't figure out the Guilford Hall Brewery is the place to hang out this Saturday night. They got a big Halloween party, live music, costume contest. It's free to get in. If you've not tried out Guilford Hall Brewery's wonderful craft beer selection, including the Guilford Hall Lager, you got to get there immediately. Their Bavarian-style menu is amazing as well. It's just a gem. It's such a great place. There's so much going on at Guilford Hall Brewery right here in Station North. You're going to say to yourself, "What? This is here? This is amazing. This is among the great breweries you'll ever find in your life." The atmosphere is incredible. GuilfordHall.com is the website. 1611 Guilford Avenue in Station North. Before we turn things over to Simply the Bets, let's get a tidbit, or I make Guilford Hall Brewery brings us tidbit. That's how we'll handle this. What we got?
Okay, so I saw this one like this morning. So a random like Mariners fan account tweeted in November of 2019 who the next 10 World Series champions would be, and so they have been 2 for 2 already. And so they said Dodgers would win 2020, Braves would win 2021, and then they have the Phillies winning 2022, and they predicted the rest of the decade. But it's just very, very interesting that this person got that 2 for 2 so far. And then they're very close to 3 for 3.
I hope they bet a bunch of money on it. I hope they bet.
They predicted the Orioles to win in 2029.
Okay, all right, that's not nothing. That's not as soon as we were hoping, but like better than never.
All right, and then another random fact. Despite being swept in 3 games, the Mariners played more innings against the Astros than the Yankees did in the ALCS because of the 18-inning extra innings. So it was actually, they played 212 outs in the Mariners-Astros series and 210 in the Yankees-Astros.
I mean,
thought that was
that is very interesting. I'll give you that. It's very interesting.
And then finally, Justin Fields, he became the first player to have one game of 80 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown, and a passing touchdown in each of his first 2 seasons. He's the first player to do that.
I don't know that that's an accomplishment. Like,
it's impressive.
That's an anomaly.
And then so he also joins 10 other QBs as the only quarterback to have more than one of those types of games in their entire career. So 10 other players have had multiple games
of 80 yards rushing, the passing, and a rushing touchdown.
Correct. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
He is number 1, 7 for Lamar Jackson.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick has 4.
Steve Young.
Steve Young he's a good guess, but he does not have multiple.
Okay.
Maybe is it possible he doesn't even have 1?
That would be surprising.
Yeah.
But sure. Fran Tarkenton.
No.
Okay.
5 guys have more than 2, so maybe if you want to make it simpler, shorter list.
5 guys have more than 2.
Yes, and so you named Vick and Lamar already, so you got 3 left.
Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham, a good guess, not on here.
Cordell Stewart.
Not on here.
Go, you can get in. That's fine.
Russell Wilson.
That's what I was about to say. Russell Wilson.
Good guess. That is correct. Russell Wilson is 2nd. He has 5 games
of
80 rushing and
look at you
rushing and a passing touchdown.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has 3.
Good guess.
Mahomes.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
Looking for volume.
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton rounds out the top 5 with 4. Do you want to keep trying to guess the guys that have multiple?
Bailey Zappi.
No.
Probably not Bailey Zappi.
Maybe a guy you're picking up on the waiver wire this week.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones has 2 of them.
Okay. That's my guy.
2 more active, 2 more are not in football, but they've played this millennium.
They played this millennium.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 former Raven, actually.
1 former Raven.
Not known for his time as a Raven.
Not known for his time as
a
a Raven. Oh my! You're making it very difficult. Tyrod.
No.
RG3.
RG3 is correct.
Okay.
RG3 has 2 of them.
Good one. Well, all right, just tell me that. We got
Kyler Murray, Marcus Mariota both
Okay.
have 2.
Yeah,
Donovan
sure.
McNabb has 2.
It's a little bit surprising.
It
He
is
wasn't
surprising.
much of a runner.
Yeah.
That's
And that is the rounds at the top 10. Those are the 10, well, I guess 11 players, including Justin Fields now, that have
I just don't
80
know
yards
that
rushing
is a
and rushing.
specific impressive. Like the 80 yards rushing.
mean,
like again, I get
some
it. If
good
you,
company up here, Lamar Jackson.
I feel like if you
Josh
did that
Allen.
with a passing yards number, that becomes a more impressive statistic. Just a random passing touchdown, right? Like I think is less. The problem is like we've all seen Justin Fields. We know he's not really very good. Like that's the issue with trying to make it seem like that's a statistic.
All right,
that's,
so if you make it 200 passing yards,
Uh-huh.
Russell Wilson's still done it 5 times. Cam Newton's still done it 4 times. Lamar's only done it 3 times, and those are the top 3 guys to have done
But
it.
how many times has Justin Fields done it?
Justin Fields has done it, 0.
That to me is the why I don't think that statistic is very valuable. But I get it. It fits the bill of a trivia question. I'm not mad at you. I just don't I don't think it's a particularly meaningful statistic. All right, Totally Tubular, brought to you by the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill. You can reserve yours today at ginsugrills.com. Use the code TAILGATE and save $100 when you do. Not a lot going on with no baseball. Maryland soccer is in action tonight at 7 o'clock against Delaware on Big Ten Network Plus. Pistons Wizards at 7 on NBC Sports Washington. TNT's got Mavs Pelicans at 7:30. Warriors Suns, that's a pretty good one at 10 o'clock tonight. ESPN Avalanche Rangers at 8. Golden Knights Sharks at 10:30. The Champions League this afternoon. All the matches are on Paramount Plus. The Golazo Show at 3 on CBS Sports Network. And USA for WWE NXT tonight at 8 as well. Some non-sports highlights?
Bachelor in Paradise, of course.
Oh, yeah, that's
Charlize
a big one.
Theron and Lewis Hamilton will be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Package deal. They go everywhere together. Everybody knows that.
Sigourney Weaver will be on Fallon. And then Eddie Redmayne on Stephen Colbert. And then the season 1 finale of Reboot, as well as the season 1 finale of The Patient on Hulu.
I do wish I would have watched Reboot. I don't know if at some point I'll have
It'll still
time
be
to
there,
get into
yeah.
it. I don't know. I've run out of time to watch things of late. I started episode 1 of Wrexham and didn't even finish episode 1. Like that's how little time I have at this point. Is that like
So
I
it's
was-
not that it was
I
a bad
fi-
show.
No,
It's
I was
okay.
finally ready to get into it, and I haven't had the opportunity to. Hopefully, as it gets colder and there's less sports going on, I will have a little bit more time to dive into some shows here. All right. Thanks today to Micah. You want to plug your Micah _ Ernest on
Micah
Instagram?
dot Ernest.
Micah, that's right. Dot.
You
Ernest.
must not follow me.
Shut up. Shut up. Follow him on Instagram. Thanks today to Joe Serpico. Thanks also to Ian Beckles down in Tampa. We'll get those things up in the greatest hits section of the tab at glennclarkradio.com. Anything tomorrow or?
Stuff and things tomorrow.
Okay, stuff and things tomorrow on the show. It'll be a big one. Lots of stuff. Yeah. All the things. Stuff and things and stuff. Stuff and things. We'll be stuffing things. Maybe you can watch us stuff things. Tune in for that. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Baltimore County Police Department, Glory Days Grill. Thanks to them for stopping by. That was wonderful. Royal Farms, the Costas Inn, Guilford Hall Brewery, Grade 8's Memorabilia, the FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, Maryland Vascular Specialist, the all-new Ginsu Kamado Grill, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go nobody. Duke sucks. Ohio State sucks too. If you are with us on video, give us a minute. Go back to where you started. If you're with us on audio, do nothing. Simply the Bets coming up next.